Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial, I will be demonstrating how to create stop and play buttons so that you can demo your songs within a Flash project without even using any action script. So these will be very simple stop and play operations that will allow Flash to play your song and stop your song. Just to give a quick demonstration, if we go to Control Test Movie and we test the file, you can see how this customized play and stop button triggers and stops the actual WAV file, whichever one you have. So if you have an MP3 file or WAV file, that is fine and that is acceptable. So let's begin with a fresh new project. Let's go to File, New. You can go ahead and press ActionScript 3, but we're not really going to use ActionScript in this. Go ahead and just put in 720 by 480. Okay. And now what we're going to do is import to our library. Import to library, first of all, the image that we have, which is this image here. Let's open that. And let's go ahead and also import to our library the sound files. And the sound files will be the demo 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and open. Okay. Once you have imported everything to your library, all you have to do is go to Windows, Library, or you can just look to the right over here. Your library should have all your assets. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag the clip art here, the image, and scale it. A great way to just scale it instead of using your free transform tool is also to just click on the image and go to properties, and then you can actually scale everything in proportion by making sure that this lock width and height values toggle is on and locked. So let's go ahead and make this smaller. Okay, let's see, 200. You could also scroll down just like that. You can hold your mouse over and just scroll, and you're able to scale it down. Let's go ahead and put our device here. And we can go ahead and add some text for a heading here, which is give our little mobile device here a title. And the next thing that we're going to do is create custom play and stop buttons. Instead of depending on the library, which of course most of you know under Common Libraries buttons, where you can find different play buttons, such as these, we're just going to make our own simple stop and play buttons. So I'm going to hold over right here the rectangle tool, which is the shortcut R. And let's go ahead and change that to a nice simple black color. I'm going to hold down Shift, just like this. And what I'm going to do is take the same thing here, Command C, Command V. Okay, and what I'm going to do is make a play button using the sub-selection tool. So let's go ahead and we're going to zoom in a little bit. Sometimes what you need to do is make it a little bit bigger to see things better. So let's zoom in. Let's go ahead and make a nice little play button here. So once again, all I did was using this sub-selection tool, I was able to grab the corners and just make a very, very simple, flat play button. So now we have a custom stop and play button. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. And with these two buttons here, they're not buttons yet. We're going to actually have to convert them into buttons. So let's move this over here. Okay. Once I'm satisfied with the shape and the size, I can go ahead and turn these into buttons. So the first thing that I'm going to do is Let me just get the position correct. Over. The first thing I'm going to do is change this triangle here to a play button. So in order to convert this into a symbol button, you're going to right click and just go to convert to symbol and name this simply play button. Okay. Make sure that this type is set to button. Make sure that the registration is in the center. Press OK. Once this is a button, you're able to double click and you're going to see that you get a timeline here. This is very specific to buttons. You get an up, over, down, and hit state. So what we're going to do is we're going to press F6. For those of you that are working on a Mac, you might want to hold down the FN button. Okay, so F6 usually does the job, but if you are working on a Mac, hold down the FN button and press F6 to create additional keyframes. And on the hit zone, make sure you have it selected. What I'm going to do is just change the color to red. And what I'm going to do is take this rectangle tool and just cover my icon with a big red square. Okay, and this, all it means is that this is my hit zone. This is the clickable hit zone. And on the down state, make sure you go back to the down state. What I'm going to do is tell Flash to play the song on mouse down. Okay, so when the mouse clicks down, it's going to play a song. So let's go ahead and make sure we have the properties panel open. If you don't, select that button in the down state. So you're going to select this down state frame. Make sure that you have your properties panel selected. If you don't, make sure you go to Windows, Properties, and there it is. And under the Properties panel, it's going to give you a few choices here. So under Sound and Name, I'm going to choose the first demo, not 2 and 3, just demo sound, the first one. And what I'm also going to do is make sure that under Sync, I'm going to make sure that Start is selected. So the play button is going to start this demo sound. Okay? Once again, under Sync, make sure it's Start. Once you're finished, you're going to notice that under the down frame, now you have this purple bar. This indicates that you have sound present in that keyframe. Okay? So let's go back to the scene level. So we're in the button level. We need to click on the scene level. Now let's take care of our stop button. So what we're going to do is, actually, let's test it before we go on to the stop button. Let's go to Control, Test Movie in Flash. You're going to notice that if I press the play button, it triggers, but I can't stop it. So now we have to take care of the stop button. We need to make sure that there's a way to stop the music when the viewer and the listener is interested in turning off the music. Whether it's for your website or for a web banner, you need to make sure that when a person visits that site, they have the full control of stopping or playing the audio. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to double click. And we're going to notice right now it's not registered as a button. So let's go back and transfer this, okay, this bitmap into a button. So right click, let's go convert to symbol. And we're going to make sure we have button selected. And we're going to just name this stop button. Okay, stop BTN. As long as you understand what this stands for, button, press OK. As soon as you do that, you will notice that being still in the scene stage, you double click, now it opens up your timeline that's very specific for buttons with the up, over, down, and hit state, which once again is all the mouse states. If you're up and over the icon with your mouse, right here, if you're over the mouse, over the icon and down and hit, so if you actually click on the icon, what happens? So let's go ahead and once again press F6. on all those states, and let's go to the hit zone. And on the hit zone, what we're going to do is the same thing. We're just going to make a nice rectangle over our stop icon. And this only basically tells Flash this is my hit zone. This is where the clickable hit zone is, okay? Let's go back to the down state, which is when the mouse is down. And on this frame, we're going to notice under sound, we need to once again select the same one, which is demo sound. And this time, unlike the play button, under sync, we're going to change it to stop instead of start. Okay, so now that that's finalized, once again, we're going to notice that it has that purple bar that ends here because it's going to stop. Let's go back to the scene level. Now all we have to do is move our buttons over into our beautiful mobile device. What I recommend is that you also use your rulers to make sure everything is aligned. Okay, so once again, the rulers will help you align everything and plan your design out. Okay, in addition to that, just to make you aware, Flash offers other align tools. So this would be align left, align horizontal, center, and of course align right edge. So you can also use these align tools, but we're going to use the rulers today and align them nicely. And I'm also going to name my song. So this will be Demo Song 1. Okay, and there it is. Let's go ahead and test this. We're going to go to Control, Test Movie, and let's see if finally our stop button is working. It's working perfectly. Very nice. Okay, so mission accomplished. Very simple without using ActionScript, but you can definitely use this for your website to showcase some of your sound work, some of your songs. Another thing that you can do is if you want to have multiple songs here, a very simple way, instead of creating all of this from scratch, is to go back to the library. So let's go ahead and go back to the library. You will notice you have your stop and play button. So instead of recreating this again, all you have to do is basically right click and you can duplicate this icon, but this time call it play button 2. Make sure you change the name and keep it as a button. Same thing for this, for the stop, right click and duplicate this button, and instead of stop, it's going to be stop button 2. Make sure it's a button. So now, very quickly and easily, what we can do is, once again, since they have different names, we can just put down the new play button here. Make sure we align it nicely. And we can put down the new stop button here. And once again, in design, it's very much I suggest that you align things very nicely and use your rulers to make it a little bit more appealing. And navigational. Okay, so once you have this play button 2 and stop button 2, all you would have to do is, if you want to implement a new song, let's say right here we have demo song 1, and here we're going to have demo song 2. Very simple. The only thing you would have to do is double click, go into the button menu, click on the down state, and under your properties panel, the only thing you would have to do now is change your demo sound to demo sound 2. And the same thing would apply for your stop button. So you would double click, go to your down state frame, click on it, and you would change the demo sound to demo sound 2. And now you have 2 songs. In fact, just for the sake of showcasing all 3 songs that we have, let's go ahead and just duplicate this title here. I have one more song to showcase. So this is demo song 3. Let's go back to our library, and once again, we're just going to duplicate this. We're going to call this play button 3. And we're going to duplicate this by right-clicking on that icon in the library. Duplicate. And let's call this stop button 3. Very simple. Let's go ahead and put the play button 3 here. Make sure that we match it nicely. Let's go ahead and put the stop button here. Make sure we match it nicely. And now once again, the only thing we would change is double click and go into the down state. And in the down state, under a properties panel, we would choose demo sound 3. Same for the stop. We would go to the down state frame and choose demo sound 3. Now that we're finished with everything, let's go back to the scene level and go to control. And let's go ahead and test our movie in Flash. So now we have all of our songs playing. And so that concludes our very simple tutorial of how to create stop and play buttons and how to add sound to buttons using very, very simple steps in Adobe Flash without having to do ActionScript. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope to see you at the next tutorial or workshop. Take care.